Do you want to learn sewing and make your own clothes? Then the first best thing that you could do is to make your own basic bodice block. I took really long time to make my own basic bodice block, which I totally regret, and I don't want you to do that. I mean, sometimes it's better to learn from others' mistakes. Drunk texting your ex? Go ahead and do that, because that's the mistake that you need to learn on your own, but not sewing mistakes. When I initially started sewing my clothes, I used to get intimidated by, making patterns. Since I have my own basic block, I'm not so intimidated as such. I'll try and make it as easy as possible for you to understand so that you don't give an excuse, not to learn sewing. Basic bodice block gives you the confidence to attempt to make new patterns. So it acts like a base to make any new designs. So let's do this. Wear something that is slightly fitted so that it's easy to take measurements and you will get the accurate measurements. First, let's take all the vertical measurements. The first measurement that we will take is the length of your bodice, and for that keep your tape on the shoulder and then take the tape on the bust, not side or in the center. It should be on your bust, and make sure to wear a bra that fits you perfectly.
My length is 14, but I'm gonna keep 1 inch extra because I want it little longer.
If you're confused where to stop this, what you have to do is bend. When you bend, you get the curve. That is where your bodice will end. Now, the next measurement that you would need is dart point. That is again from shoulder, the middle of your bust where your nipple is, that is the dart point or bust point. So mine is 9.5 inches. The next measurement would be under bust or dart length. That will be again from shoulder just below your bust. Mine is 12 inches. That is, exactly below your bust. Those are all the vertical measurements that you need. Next, let's take some horizontal measurements. First would be shoulder. Take your tape behind. So mine is 12.5 inches. The next measurement that you need is armhole curve. This will be the circumference of your armhole. Mine is around 15.5 inches. Next, we are going to take your chest measurement. That is the full circumference of your chest. Mine is 34 inches. And then you will take your under bust as well. Mine is 27 inches. And then you're going to take your waist measurement, where I said, right, when you bend, this is where it curves. That is where your natural waist is. Mine is again 27. And the last measurement you need is nipple to nipple or dart width. Mine is around 6.75 inches. Now let's take the sleeve measurement. I'm gonna make a sleeve pattern of elbow length. You can make whatever length you want. So just take that length. When you're taking elbow, make sure to just fold your hands a bit so it's easy.
Mine is 10.5 inches. After that, we're gonna take biceps or arm fit measurement.
Mine is around 12 inches, and then you would need the sleeve end circumference. That's 9 inches. These are the only measurements that you need.
Things you will need are a brown paper. If you're cheap like me, you can use a paper carry bag or even a newspaper. Ruler, measurement tape, French curve or armhole curve. If you don't have it, don't sweat it. You can always do freehand curves. And then you would need pencil. I'm using the marker so that you can see properly, but make sure you use pencil. I have folded the paper once and taped it to the table so that it doesn't move while marking. The length of the paper should be at least your shoulder to waist measurement plus 1 inch. So the paper length that I have is 15 plus 1, that is 16, plus another half inch extra to tape it. First, draw a straight line on the top of the sheet. And then I marked the length on the paper, that is 16 inch, which includes 1 inch dart, and then I'm also going to mark the 15 inch, that is the actual shoulder to waist measurement. First, we will be drafting the front bodice. Now let's mark all the vertical measurements. I am marking the neck depth as 2.5 inches, which is standard, and then mark the dart point or bust point. Mine is 9.5 inches. After that, mark your underbust measurement. Mine is 12 inches. And the last vertical point is shoulder to waist measurement, which is already marked at 16 inches. Extend the bust point and underbust point horizontally as shown in the video. Now let's mark all the horizontal measurements. The neck width, I am keeping it as 2.5 inches, which is standard. At the dart point line, mark the bust measurement divided by 4 inches. So my bust measurement is 34 divided by 4 is 8.5 inches. So I'm gonna mark that. And then I'm gonna mark my waist, that is 27 divided by 4, which will give me 6.75 plus 1 inch for the dart. Draw 2.5 inch down from the point we marked and connect it to the other point that we had already marked. Now using French curve, connect the length point to the width point as shown in the video. You can always draw this by freehand as well. After that, mark your shoulder. Mine is 12.5 divided by 2, which will give me 6.25. Our shoulders are not straight, so mark 1 inch down from the shoulder point and then connect that with the neck point as shown in the video. Now let's mark armhole length. There are two ways you can calculate your armhole. One is chest divided by 6 plus 1 inch. Another one is to take your shoulder measurement as your armhole length. In my case, my shoulder measurement was 6.25, so I'm gonna take the same as armhole length and mark that and draw a straight line from shoulder to your armhole point. Extend the armhole point horizontally as shown in the video. Place the measuring tape on this new line that we marked and mark your chest measurement. Mine is 8.5 inches. You can add half an inch extra ease on this point if you want. Mark a midpoint at this armhole line. Mark half inch inward from this midpoint because this will be the front body's armhole. Connect this point to the chest measurement point that we had marked earlier. After that, connect this midpoint to the shoulder point. That will be the front armhole. After that, we are gonna mark dart width. That will be dart width divided by 2. Mine is around 3.375. If it is difficult to measure that, take your tape and fold it at 6.75 and then mark it like I'm showing in the video. Mark this on your waistline as well. Connect these 2 points vertically. Mark 1 inch down from the bust point. Mark half inch on both the sides of the line as shown in the video. Connect these 2 dots with the previously marked dot and that will be the waist dart. Let's name this bust line, underbust and waist. After that, we are gonna connect all these 3 points. Around armhole point, I kept 1/4 inch for ease and then connected the dots. Now we are gonna mark side dart. From the bust line, take 1 inch down. From this new point, mark a line connecting to dart point. Mark half an inch on both the sides from this new point that we have marked. Mark 1.5 inch down from the dart point. And connect this point with the 2 points that we had marked. Now we have our side dart. Let's quickly name this as front bodice block. The front bodice is done. Now let's mark back bodice. The difference between front and the back bodice is mostly the neckline, armhole and the dart. For the back neck deep, I'm gonna mark 1.5 inches. From this point, mark your back neck as shown in the video. For the back armhole, connect this point to the midpoint. After that, connect the midpoint to the shoulder point as shown in the video. It's time to cut the pattern, so let's remove all the tapes. My battery was dead when I cut the back neck, so make sure not to cut the front neck, cut only the back neck. After that, cut the shoulder and then cut back armhole, not the front armhole, back armhole, and then all the way till the waist. Also cut out any extra paper below. Unfold the paper and then extend all the horizontal lines as shown in the video. Let's quickly name this as upper bust. Mark dart point on the upper bust line and on the waist line and join these 2 points vertically. Mark 1 inch down from the upper bust point. Mark ½ inch on both the sides on the waistline. Join these points as shown in the video. Now we have our back dart. Mark 1 inch above the waistline and mark on the side as well. Connect these 2 points horizontally. Since front has side dart, we need that 1 inch extra, but back doesn't have side dart, so we need to reduce that by 1 inch. After that, draw a straight line on the center. Measure the dart width on the new line we marked. It should be ½ an inch on both the sides. If not, make the adjustments. Let's name this as back bodice block. Now let's cut at the center. On the back bodice, remove that 1 inch we marked. On the front bodice, cut on the front neckline and the front armhole. If you keep front and the back bodies together on the sides, you can see that back bodice is shorter than 1 inch. That's because front has the dart. So when I fold this dart, both will be equal. Now the front and the back bodice block is ready. Now I'm gonna measure the complete circumference of the armhole. Paste a tape so that it doesn't move and then measure your complete armhole circumference. Mine is coming up to 15.5 inches. Take a paper, fold it and tape it on the top and the bottom to draft sleeve pattern. Draw a straight line on the top and then leave ½ an inch and draw another straight line. After that, mark the sleeve length on the folded side of the paper. Mine is 10.5 inches. Mark the same on the other side and draw a horizontal line connecting these 2 points. Next, I'm gonna mark sleeve cap, that is 3 inches. For chest size 30 to 39, you can keep it as 3. Chest size 40 to 49, you can keep it as 3.5. This is basically calculated as chest divided by 12. Mark the same on the other side and draw a horizontal line as shown in the video. We just measured the complete circumference of the armhole with the basic block. So mine is 15.5 inches. So I'm gonna divide that by 2 and mark it diagonally from the top point as shown in the video. Connect the top point with this new point as shown in the video. Now we're gonna mark the sleeve end width. So mine is 9.5 inches. So I'm gonna divide that by 2 and mark it. Connect this with the previously marked point as shown in the video. The diagonal point we marked, we are going to divide that by 2 and mark a point. Divide it again as shown in the video and mark a point, and do that on the other side as well. So basically you're dividing this line by 3 points. Mark half an inch above from the first point we marked. Mark quarter inch below from the last point. Connect these points as shown in the video. Connect these 3 points and mark a curve. Connect these 3 points and mark a curve. This will be the back side of the sleeve. Now to draw the front side, you need to drop it by just a point and just draw a curved line as shown in the video. And this will be the front side of the sleeve. Now the drafting is done. Remove the tape and cut it. While cutting the curve, make sure to cut it on the back side of the curve. After that, open the paper and cut the front side. Now your basic bodice block is ready. Take care of it like your life depends on it. Basic blocks doesn't have seam allowance or margin for stitching, so make sure to add that half an inch margin while cutting on the fabric.
Once you're done doing your basic bodice pattern, try making it with the fabric. You don't have to have, a new fabric or even a muslin to do it. I have literally used one of my old skirts to try out the fittings, and this has come out really well. So what I did was, for the front bodice, I have cut in the center and I have left half inch to pin it. If you can see, there are pins all over, and I have done this just to try the fitting. Fits like a glove. This is how it looks from the front, and this is how it looks on the side. Fits perfectly, and from the back. So once you have pattern, don't think that it is all sorted. Try it on the fabric, then only you'll get to know the perfect fitting. Based on this basic bodice block, I'm gonna show you a ton of designs going forward. So keep that basic bodice pattern ready. I'll see you in my next video. Until then, bye.